The Boys' penultimate episode.
Yes. Also another just
Straight
incredible
up,
episode.
the best episode of the season by a mile.
Honestly, yeah. The best all-round episode for hitting like all the marks of The Boys, I think.
Yeah, they remembered what they did that worked. They knew what they needed to do to get the best out of what they always want to do. They did a really good job this week. We got some proper soup on soup action for like an extended period for what feels like the first time this season.
Yeah.
Lots of development for a lot of characters, kind of setting everyone up for the finale of the season, and then moving into season 5. So last week we were kind of left in a little bit of limbo. Butcher had realised that he was seeing things.
Yep.
He was trying to get this virus to work, but knew that the only way it could really work at the minute was as like a mass weapon instead of a targeted infection. And that was kind of where we were in the most part. Homelander and Firecracker had formed an alliance, we'll say. Everything was starting to take shape.
A-Train was on the brink of turning.
Yes, after saving Mother's Milk from his panic attack, he got to experience what it felt like to be an actual hero, and we all saw that resonate in his eyes. And instantly I went, that means he's dying this season. And Twitter did agree with me on that one.
And I think, unfortunately, after this week's episode, I think it's cemented now. Whether it happens this season, I don't know.
So, if I was A-Train right now, my plan would be to go public like Starlight did, because we know that kind of makes Starlight untouchable. That's what kind of made Starlight untouchable.
Yes, but with the way that it seems Homelander is leading, where like moments in terms of the series, we are moments away from him being in full control of everything to do whatever the fuck he wants. So I don't know if that would actually protect A-Train anytime or for very long. If I'm A-Train, fucking run halfway around the world. Yeah, he might have found you eventually, but you can always run quicker than Homelander can fly.
No. In canon, Homelander flies quicker than A-Train runs.
Oh.
He literally can't outrun him.
I mean, he can run and hide for a while.
Yes.
And hope that all the other shit going on keeps Homelander busy, which I think is what I would... If I was A-Train, I'm like, oh, shit's about to blow up. I'm out of here. He's going to be busy dealing with this. I've got some time before he comes hunting me.
So it's really interesting because we discussed it before. What the Netflix Marvel shows did really well was when it came to villains, it did a really good job of humanizing them just before the fall. So they're evil, they're evil, they're evil. Oh my god, they were traumatized as a child. They were bullied. They were treated horribly. I see how they could do this, and then they do something so unnecessarily evil that you're like, okay, cool. You might have had a shit life, but now you're actively trying to make choices to be evil. I feel like that was the Deep this week. The Deep has been a bit of a mean character a few years now. Season 1, horrible piece of shit character who abused Starlight. Everyone hated him for that. Then over the last 3 seasons, they turned him into a bit of a meme character that no one took seriously.
Yeah, they kind of got bullied a bit by Homelander. And, yeah.
Now, Sage has come in, built his ego back up, and he's back to being a piece of shit. And I think it's the exact same concept, but done over a longer period of time.
Well, it's like, it almost was, we started to feel a little sorry because, oh yes, he's a piece of shit, but like, he's kind of getting treated like shit. Like everyone's just using him as a meme, and he doesn't realize he's a meme. And now we feel sorry for him. And even this season, it was like, oh, we know Sage is taking advantage of him, but he feels like he's getting some worth, and it's making him feel good. So but oh no, he's being like abused still.
Yeah.
To the point where he finally snaps on his octopus.
Yeah.
And then
voiced by Tilda Swinton, which is still hilarious.
That death, was so drawn out.
It
And also,
was.
wait, were you like me that was like, when she immediately started being like, I can't breathe, I'm like, but doesn't it go on the bed quite often?
I
Out of
assume it was
water?
because earlier on, like before he put her back in the cupboard, he did say, you can't be out of water that long. I assume she just hadn't been back there long
Oh, I
enough.
suppose maybe. It was just, I was
But
like, but yeah, that
it
that
was
feels,
it was very dramatic.
yeah. To then being sent off by Homelander to go kill
Yeah,
the boys.
go kill the boys. Deal with them. I'm sick of them.
So suddenly he's like full ego mode of like, I am the most powerful.
Yeah, and it was fun to see a member of the Seven seem powerful and dangerous again.
Yeah.
When he first put that fist through that pillar, and it gave like the fight some weight that felt above human, I was kind of like, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Now we're fighting.
When he smacks Starlight across the room, you're like, oh yeah, he actually is strong. He's not just that feeble like Aquaman of the group. Like people forget that he is a superhero and he is strong because he's been made to seem like the weak one.
Yeah.
Also, he was just a dick about that whole thing, which I think is the point. Like you say, everyone's like, "Oh no, yeah, he's a dick. He's not sorry for anything he did."
He's abused. Like, as weird as it was that his lover was an octopus anyway, he's being abusive in his relationships. He's just murdered his partner essentially. He's just told Homelander he's ready to go full like SS commander on this shit. He is evil. He needs to be dealt with.
I love that Butcher has a fucking minigun in a box ready to go.
Yeah, just craziness. Very funny though.
I loved that Noir. That we obviously got the narcolepsy. Yeah, set up earlier in the season when he fell asleep in the meeting. So for it to happen mid-fight was hilarious.
Yeah. The after he got like knocked out and then like fell asleep and then woke up and spoke.
Yeah.
Starlight going, oh fuck, he speaks now. Oh fuck, he flies now.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah. The idea as well that like
got to see him fly.
They would know enough about Noir that like, and would they have known he died?
Homelander killed him. No. They didn't know that Homelander had killed him.
So then it's just like, suddenly he flies. That'd be like wait, this wasn't on your like card of what you can do. What the fuck? Not knowing it's someone different. But then what else? Obviously, the A-Train's flipped. Oh, Sage got
excommunicated.
Yeah,
Webweaver got killed.
Oh, the Webweaver death.
The most brutal, like, individual death we've seen, by the way.
Just ripped in half so slowly as well.
Every other kind of really graphic death like that has been more explosive.
Yes.
That, like, even Firecrackle's like, I let that man, like, suckle on me. So, that is scary.
I'm like, I got from Firecracker, I was like, she was scared, but also maybe aroused. It was like this weird thing of like, am I happy that he's like I'm right hand to him now, or am I scared?
See, I kind of got the vibe that she was terrified, but she was trying really hard to not appear terrified.
Maybe.
And it was kind of like I can't let him see that freaked me the fuck out, but what the fuck?
I suppose she has shown that like she is pretty normal, and she's
a
played her cards to she's just played her cards to move up into powerful positions, but she doesn't actually like got the backbone for those positions.
Exactly. But seeing once again another like this episode was really set on like reminding us how terrifying soups are. To just watch him rip another soup, by the way, clean in half with his bare hands was
after
wild.
That soup had just spent about 5 minutes shitting himself with web. That honestly made me feel a little uncomfortable. The constant like wet, like
noise.
It was literally
the Foley artist needs locking up for that one.
Like it genuinely sounded like someone shitting themselves, but obviously they can get away with it because they can just show it as web coming out. And it was like, oh, this is kind of gross. And then he rips him in half, and you're like, oh, not quite where I wanted that to go.
No. But do not get it twisted. I know they're parodies of Spider-Man and Superman. Don't give a fuck. Spider-Man dog walks Superman. I'll die on that fucking hill. Really funny though, and it's just Sage's complete disdain for everything. It's like, you killed Web Weaver. Why? Well, he was the mole. It's like, you thought he was the mole? That motherfucker's a junkie. He'll say
Yeah.
anything just to go home and get high.
Yeah, it's almost like she is not surprised by like their stupidity, but then you can also sense that she's like, oh shit, he's not listening to me anymore. I've lost my kind of position of power, which she clearly had started to enjoy being in. Or this
Yeah.
like sense of control she thought she had over Homelander, she's now realized, oh.
Yeah.
And because he's like letting her walk away, I wonder, does Sage flip?
I don't think so.
But no, but does she flip?
Not yet, anyway.
Does she flip but try to play the boys and claim that she'll help them get Homelander, but actually it's still all her just playing her own plan?
That is more feasible. I don't think she outright flips. She
No.
might flip allegiance purely for own self-gain.
Yes.
But that'd be about it, yeah. But if she knows that even with her, the boys probably don't win, she won't get involved.
I just wonder, you've also got to remember, she's the one who's been in contact with the shooter.
Yes.
She's the point of contact for a lot of these plans set in place. What's stopping her just now set them to do what she wants solely?
Mm-hmm. Other than fear of Homeland just coming and caving her skull in.
Yeah, I mean, Homelander was heartbroken about A-Train, which was a bit surprising.
Yeah, it's all very strange how this kind of ramped up very quickly. And don't get me wrong, I'm used to it, but it caught me off guard a bit. How quickly it was all like, oh shit, they all know that A-Train's the mole. I'm curious why Ashley didn't take the escape option. I feel like she wants to help, but she knows she can only help inside.
Do you know what? I think she knows A-Train's dead. Like she's realized there is no way out of this unless you're dead. Like you might seem like you can walk away. Like Sage has been fired, but let's be honest, Homelander at any point could go kill her for what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Ashley realizes the safest place is actually to just stay. And because A-Train's been found out as the mole, they don't know she's got anything to do with it. She probably realizes she's safer there because she didn't have powers. So she has like, maybe, I don't, that's my take on it.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Of
course, the big reveal is that Starlight got kidnapped and replaced by the shapeshifter.
After the bar, well, so we find out right at the end in the bar. Now, I take it as it was. My guess is as she was leaving.
Yeah, she said she was going to go head off, didn't she?
So it's obviously in that point,
and that's when she got gassed in the flashback we saw.
Which also now means Hughie slept with the shapeshifter.
Yeah. Grotesque way of showing shapeshifting, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was some like the first time they showed it, and I'm like, why is this soup ripping? I was like, okay, this is a soup because they're really fucking strong. Oh no, I thought they were just a psycho at first. I was like, oh, they've been played. She's running. Then she starts ripping her flesh off, and I'm like, okay, this has to be a soup thing, but I don't understand why. And then when she starts pulling her face, and you see that, oh, this is how she shapeshifts. This is how the boys do. Of course, this is how the boys do shapeshifting in the most gruesome possible way.
Insanely gruesome, and obviously now Starlight's being set up to be the person who assassinates the president.
Yes.
You hadn't considered it that way, had you? You thought they just needed something.
No, I just considered. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about why they'd. I thought it was more because they'd found out about it, so it was maybe their way of dealing with that. I hadn't thought about the fact that they could use Starlight to be the one.
That does that not suit Homelander down to the ground? If the
Oh
person who
yeah,
kills the president is Starlight, the person who's been going against him this
yeah,
entire time.
yeah.
It's getting a bit scary. One detail we didn't notice from last week, which I thought was going to be more important, but ended up not being important. The prison that Frenchie was
Oh,
at
yes.
was a Tech Night prison. So people were like, the camps have already started. It's not that Frenchie doesn't want to see Kamiko; it's that no one's
Yeah, I
getting.
saw people.
Look at how empty the visitation rooms are because no one's being allowed to visit.
I mean, it could have been
That
somewhat.
could still partially be true for everyone else, and Frenchie
Yeah.
was just the one person who didn't actually want to see anyone.
Well, it also is just that could be true, but Butcher's friend in the CIA has enough play to still pull someone out of there if they want
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
but Frenchie also didn't want. But so yeah, I did see that as well on the internet. Oh, the whole like virus thing. As soon as Kamiko got stabbed in the leg, I was like, he's gonna have to chop a leg off. And so painful to watch. But then the funniest thing was later when they're all there and they open the ice check.
Little baby leg.
The little baby leg. It was so good. It reminded me of the whole Deadpool.
Yeah, I was
stuff.
genuinely worried that they were going to drop us with a Kamiko death right there. Because I would argue, yes, Kamiko's done bad things. She's one of very few genuinely good characters. Like characters like Butcher is a good character, but I dislike him. He's a bad person. Like straight up, he's a bad person.
I was kind of like,
she's a bad person.
When she got stabbed, I was like, either this is going to start in the leg. In my moment, I was like, if it starts in the leg, he's going to try and cut it off. If it's just it happens all over, she's dead. And I was so prepared for it to be like either way. But then when it shows that it starts in the ankle and starts, I'm like, oh, Frenchie's going to just cut that shit off.
Cut
like,
that shit off.
Of all the people that it could have happened to, the doctor guy picked the worst because he has it. Like, this is the person who we've seen regens limbs. So like, we know she's going to be okay as long as you get that leg off. The fact that Frenchie had bought her a little cuddly toy or whatever as well. The little plushy thing. Oh,
Very
Ryan.
funny.
Ryan is flipping back again. He's actually seeing the light.
This Ryan saga is going to beat the shit out of us until the end of season 5. I promise you that right now.
I think Homelander will obviously find out what went on, even though he's been busy. He's not going to be happy. Or he's going to do something that gets Ryan back on board. Yeah. Because I think the thing that tipped him is Butcher obviously sent him the photo.
Yeah.
So that's kind of tipped the scales back towards Butcher's side.
And then his dad was just so unimpressed with his feelings, even though his dad was like, I'm going to care about your feelings. It's us against the world.
He dismissed him, who's like, I'll just go on with it. I'm busy. It was some weird thing that he's been made to do again that he's like... That's obviously tipped him back. You can
see his mother in him, kind of like, this doesn't feel right. And where his dad, being supportive like he was last episode, can keep him where Homelander wants him. Homelander taking his foot off the gas and just suck it up and deal with it. Allows him to like go, 1 second. Let me think. Well, no, this is wrong.
We see, he's got a lot of his mother, and we see the Homelander side when he was like getting the assistant to slap. That smirk was very like that side of him of enjoying someone do as like he's told them to do.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's the enjoying seeing someone be punished for something that he thinks is wrong, and Homelander's just losing the control over what Ryan thinks is wrong.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if he flips back again to Homelander side. I think he does, and I wonder if the final nail on the coffin will be he finds out about like the internment camps or something and sees all that happening, and he's like, what do you mean this is what's right? This isn't what's right, Dad. And like,
I won't be surprised if the big reveal they go for is Ryan finds out that Homelander raped his mother.
Oh, that could be. Yeah. I hadn't considered that might come out. Yeah, that's true.
Because Ryan very obviously still cares about his mother a great
Yeah.
deal, obviously. And I feel like that would be enough for him to go, "You fucking what?"
Yeah.
But it would definitely be interesting for sure.
Before Starlight got snatched and switched, she started questioning Butcher about him going
Kessler.
crazy. And I said, I think it'll be this season will end with him revealing this tumor's got powers. And the group, that's how the group finds out. He almost did it in the fight. I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get a tentacle come out of his mouth or something. Like I thought some weird shit was about to happen. And I loved the way they played it off as he was hit the guy that he sees, my brain Kessler was like, well, silence treatment goes both ways. I like that it's like there was a bit of mind fuckery going on there, showing that this tumor has its own control over things.
So, would you like to hear my batshit theory about this tumor?
Okay.
So, for those who are aware, there is an animated The Boys anthology series on Prime Video called Diabolical.
Okay.
Kind of like a Visions.
Right.
Different art styles, random stories all set in the Boys universe.
Okay.
And one of them is about an old dude and his wife who's dying of cancer.
Right.
And he's a janitor at Vought. He breaks in, steals a vial of V to give to his wife who's got cancer.
Okay.
It saves her life, and then the tumor literally escapes her body and becomes a giant tumor monster.
Oh.
Now,
we saw what happened to the rabbit.
That animated monster we saw was very tentacly in that show. I think there might have been a little bit of testing. Do we like this theory going on there? We might not see it completely escape the body, but it's possible.
Well, we know it's wiggling around in there, so I think for our opinion, like I guess, as far as the viewers are aware right now, we probably don't think of it more than just a tumor in the head, because all we've seen is little wiggles. But like when we saw the rabbit, there was some pretty big tentacles coming out of its stomach. I'm picturing it decides to help for whatever reason. Maybe Butcher's about to die, and this is in front of everyone. Like massive fucking tentacle comes out of his mouth or something and just absolutely decimates something, and goes back in, and everyone's like, "How the fuck is that inside you?" Sort of.
Yeah. Kind of almost a flirking kind of vibes.
Yes, that idea. You could be right though. That could be, maybe they bring it. It does. Maybe that's the season 5 issue.
Yes, exactly. Very curious how next week wraps up though. A Train's days are numbered. Whether they end this season that way or not, there is no way A Train gets out of this show alive.
I also wonder the fact Sage knew about A Train, and she says that does she, now she's fired, try and play A Train in some way?
Maybe.
But yeah, A Train's days and numbers. How long will the group figure out that Starlight's been shapeshifted? How quickly do they realize that?
I assume based on the way shapeshifting rules work here, and we don't know, that the shapeshifter must get some level of memories. Because the shapeshifter remembered the conversation they had earlier that day and knew the passcode.
Yeah, so it must be.
So, if they have their memories, it makes it a lot more difficult to notice a shapeshifter.
I wonder
they don't have to guess at conversations.
It's gonna be like something. There's gonna be some slight slip up, or something, I guess, or somehow someone finds the real Starlight. Obviously, that's a big.
Do you know what I reckon it's gonna be? Or it'd be a very boys thing to do. Butcher shoots her in the head because he realizes something's up, and none of them listen to what he has to say. based on the way like the skin ripping works, she probably doesn't revert to her original form, and it's only when Starlight eventually manages to escape in a couple of episodes next season, maybe, that people realise that Butcher wasn't fucking losing his mind.
Well, it could be that. Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me if there's some situation where like he's unsure, and Butcher's way of being like, well, fuck it, if I'm wrong, shoots her, and then it is like everyone's like, nothing happened, she didn't change, and like, you just fucking killed Starlight, and then like an extended like pause, and then skin starts to melt off or something, and everyone's like, oh wait, what the fuck? Then Hughie realizes he's fucked her. Like,
the big concern is Starlight doesn't have any food or water. She ain't got long.
True.
And that was a dark room, so I don't see much electricity, even if her powers were working properly for her to draw from.
Yeah.
She's in a rough spot.
Oh, does Sage, knowing that was probably the plan, and now she's been fired, does she go and try and fuck up?
I mean, Sage won't be protected. She doesn't seem like she's that much of a physical threat. So if the boys find out she's been fired, there is a chance they can kind of jump her and go, tell us everything.
Because Sage could then get
she
the
can play mind games.
shapeshifter to change into somebody else. Say a firecracker.
Next week's going to be wild, and I feel like we're going to probably have more questions.
We're also going to be questioning if everyone is the actual person now.
Yeah. The beauty of a shapeshifter in a like a
they did that so well as well with the whole fan
secret
interaction.
story is so good. Yeah. Because it's been so long since the shapeshifter's been mentioned, you've forgotten all about it.
Yeah.
Bellissimo. What we should have the way they teased it though was the when the shapeshifter was in the cupboard, they reacted in the exact same way seeing Starlight. It was like, oh, you're Starlight, and that's probably what should have tipped us off.
Yeah,
like, that's probably the little Easter egg way of like, if you're a real nerd, this might tip you off.
I knew that when they opened that, I was like, this is the person.
Something ain't right. Something smells off. For sure. Anyway,